Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi says there is a 50-50 chance that Democrats will take back the House this fall. Some may dispute those chances, but we know one thing for sure: outside cash flooding this year's battle for Congress. The New York Times reporting that super PACs and other organizations have spent $7 million on House races since the beginning of April and nearly $12.5 million on the Senate races. Republican Senator John Barrasso is running for re-election in the state of Wyoming. Senator, it's good to have you here with us this morning. And as we hear Nancy Pelosi saying there's this 50-50 chance for Democrats to take the House back, considering the numbers as we talk about the money, the millions of dollars that are pouring in for the presidential race, do you think that there is too much money in politics and that is what's deciding our elections?
Well, I don't think so, Thomas. I think money is an opportunity for people to have their voices heard. I am for free speech in this country, and you see the studies that the amount of money being spent in these elections is less than people spend on Easter candy. So the reality is this election is going to be about the economy and the Obama record of the economy and jobs, the economy, the debt and the spending, and that's what people are concerned about. I just got back from Wyoming last night, and that's what I'm hearing all around the state.
Senator, I think people are confused, though. When did free speech become so much money? When did it decide that it needed to be so expensive to have free speech?
Well, you have over 500 super PACs now that are listed, and that really we'll see what happens this year at the voting booth come election day. But I want to make sure that there's not a lot of distractions out there, and the focus is where it ought to be on the major issues of the day: a referendum on the Obama economy. And people want a healthy economy, and the Obama economy is not a healthy economy.
Sir, when we talk, though, about spending, on Friday, your opponent, Thomas Blemming, said that you will outspend him 1,000 to 1 in this race because he's pledged not to accept corporate donations. How do you respond to that? And also, I just want to point out, how do you respond to that, given the fact that he's holding a rifle during that speech?
Well, the filing deadline in Wyoming hasn't come yet. The people can continue to file for election till June 1st, so we'll see how the field shapes up. But I'm privileged and proud to represent the people of Wyoming in the United States Senate, and I'm going to try to do that again for the next 6 years.
What do you think, though, about the visual image that Mr. Blemming is holding a rifle during his speech?
Well, the field isn't set yet. We'll see who else is in this race. You know, I've been endorsed by the NRA in the past. I have an A+ rating by the National Rifle Association. I'm a life member of that organization, and I expect to gain their endorsement again this year.
So real quickly, while we have you, we are expecting the Supreme Court to come back sometime this month or at the beginning of June with a decision in regards to President Obama's health care law. What is the GOP's plan B if that were to be overturned?
Well, we need to repeal and then replace this health care law. You know that 67% of Americans in a New York Times poll believe that this health care law ought to be found unconstitutional because of the mandate that everyone must buy a government-approved product. So we first have to repeal if they don't overturn. If they do overturn, then we need to replace it. But realistically, you go back to the Founding Fathers, James Madison said you should pass no law so voluminous it cannot be read and so incoherent it cannot be understood. And that's what we have with this health care law, which is why we need to have it repealed.
Senator, before I let you go, House Speaker John Boehner made a pretty interesting comment this weekend in reflection of how to handle caucuses. Take a listen to this.
I've never been shy about leading, but you know, leaders need followers, and it's hard to keep 218 frogs in a wheelbarrow long enough to get a bill passed.
218 frogs in a wheelbarrow long enough to get a bill passed. Senator, how do you respond to that?
Well, Trent Lott, who was the leader of the Senate, wrote a book called Herding Cats. Each member has their own constituency, their own beliefs, but all Republicans are united in focusing on jobs, the economy, the debt, and the spending, and getting America back to work. This election is going to be a referendum about the president and his record, and it's not a record that has really helped our economy. The economy continues to struggle. We're heading toward a fiscal cliff come the end of the year. If Congress and the president don't act before then, taxes on every working American will go up, and that will be very, very harmful to our country and to our economy.
Senator John Barrasso, Republican from Wyoming. Sir, thanks for your time this morning. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Thomas. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.